everything you need to know about Crysis 4. Crysis 4's new teaser has recently been released, and it has ignited the interest of the entire long-term gaming community manyfold to get back into the nanosuit and kill some aliens. However, the gameplay was not included in the teaser. The game developer from Frankfurt, Germany, described the new Crysis as a really next-gen shooter, and it appears that Crytek will include its player base directly in the development of the game. In this video, you guys will get to know everything that you need to know about Crysis 4. Introduction of the franchise. It's not possible to talk about Crysis without talking about Crytek, and especially the game engine. Fans and game makers alike were left awestruck when the first Crysis was released in 2007. There was nothing like it on the PC. The graphics were exceptional. The lighting effects alone were miles ahead of any other engine. Even the longer draw distances and crisp graphics were a decade ahead of their time. Many thought it was absurd that a PC could handle something like this. It was not surprising then that the gaming community and the internet made fun of the PC system requirements. Even a meme was made out of this. When Crytek planned to expand beyond CryEngine 2, they moved to Frankfurt just before the launch of the game that launched Crytek to new heights. A second studio in Kiev was launched, and shortly after that, a team worked in Budapest. There was an expansion of the game called Crysis Warhead that was released exclusively for PC. The PlayStation Network and Xbox Live versions were released in 2011. After acquiring several studios in the design and game-making industries in 2009, CryEngine 3 was introduced. Game Developers Conference 2009 saw the first glimpse of the engine, which would be available on PS3, Xbox 360, and PC. In 2011, Crysis 2 was launched. In this period, Crytek was looking beyond the Crysis series. Just before THQ filed for bankruptcy, they developed other games like Rise, Son of Rome, and Homefront 2. CryEngine 3.4 SDK added full DirectX 11 functionalities to its portfolio in 2012. Crysis 3 was launched in 2013 to positive reviews, despite gamers' growing dissatisfaction with the series' linearity. While the effect of the next two games paled it in contrast to the first, nonetheless, all three Crysis games are absolutely outstanding. The games aren't particularly masterpieces of storytelling or gameplay, but Crysis pioneered the nanosuit theme that we now see in Call of Duty and other shooters. Let's talk about the story of the franchise without trying to give any spoilers, as there will be many young gamers who might not have played this franchise yet. The setting of the first game begins on August 7, 2020. It was the future at that time, and the fictional Lingshan Islands had been seized by North Korean forces. Archaeologists discover an alien technology that ignites a war between Americans and the North Koreans. They had no idea that the aliens are also now involved in the situation. The soldiers are provided with nanosuits that grant them extraordinary abilities capable of completing astounding feats. The soldiers' health can be recharged by the nanosuit before irreparable damage occurs. In the same way, the persons who are wearing the suit have 4 settings to choose from. First, the armor mode that deflects damage and recharges the suit's defenses faster. The strength mode grants superior hand-to-hand combat abilities, almost like that of a superhero.
I'll be your eyes in the sky.
You may kill adversaries by throwing stuff at them, as well as jump higher and aim more precisely. Speed is another useful power-up, as it accelerates everything from movement to reloading. Finally, Cloak, a power most known for its appearance in the Crysis series, renders you invisible and silent. By combining these abilities, the player was forced to constantly adjust their approach against enemies. Talking about enemies, let's talk about the primary enemies of the franchise. The Ceph, short for cephalopods, are a highly superior alien species that arrived on Earth 65 million years ago and serve as the series' main adversaries. They are hostile to humans and appear to be undertaking an extermination campaign against them. Although there are numerous explanations, it is thought that they have been operating to protect the Earth's environment from human destruction. The Cephs on Earth come from the Triangulum galaxy, often called Messier 33, which is about 3 million light-years away in the constellation Triangulum. These ships were last active roughly 2 million years ago, after which they stayed dormant until 1922, when Jacob Hargrave initiated a few events in Tunguska that finally led to the waking of the Cephala ships all over the world. However, this activity began in the early 21st century with little testing and technical tests before being fully awakened by the Korean People's Army on the fictional islands of Lingshan. The Ceph's true origin and antiquity, on the other hand, is unknown. They first appeared in the solar system 65 million years ago.
I need to get out of here, fast.
The seeding ship discovered on Earth is assumed to have been the source of the mass extinction at the time, and it was rendered dormant for an unknown amount of time before reactivating and accumulating energy with other Ceph devices around the world to build a network. If you guys are more interested in knowing about their purpose, then do check out the novel Crysis Legion. The first two games, Crysis and Crysis Warhead, an expansion, are first-person shooter games set in 2020 on the fictional Lingshan Islands off the coast of the Philippines. Both games' protagonists are members of the Raptor Team, a U.S. Special Forces unit dispatched to the island to examine North Korea's provocative actions. Traditional projectile weapons like pistols, submachine guns, assault rifles, and sniper rifles, all of which may be changed in real time with scopes and attachments, as well as explosives and the nanosuit's innate powers, are used by the player. Multiplayer game modes offer hypothetical futuristic weaponry based on extraterrestrial adversaries' ice technology, which is subsequently discovered to be present on the island. Raptor Team is pitted against both the North Korean military and these extraterrestrial opponents in single-player mode. Crysis 2 is a 3-year sequel to Crysis that takes place in 2023 in New York City, which has been afflicted by an unknown virus. The player takes control of Alcatraz, a U.S. Marine who was discovered nearly dead by Prophet, and given the updated nanosuit 2. Prophet assigns him the mission of rescuing Nathan Gould, a scientist. Crysis 3 is set in New York, just as its predecessor. Prophet returns to the now nanodome-encased New York City in 2047, on a mission of vengeance against Cell, having discovered the truth behind their motivations for building the quarantined nanodomes. Crysis 3 was supposed to be the end of the trilogy, but I guess there is more to it now.
No!
The nanites in your suit are free. They can transform into anything, any form imaginable.
Crysis 4 story. And when is it coming? Nobody expected Crytek to reveal the fourth part in their Crysis franchise this year. An unexpected announcement from Crytek did surprise its fans after years of staying mum. The information regarding Crysis 4 is sadly lacking. However, we believe this franchise will revive itself with amazing graphics and gameplay that will potentially change how first-person shooters are played. The gameplay trailer will reveal this to us once it is released. Crytek hasn't even provided an official release date as of yet. This information will not be delivered to us for another few months. Fortunately, Crytek has confirmed that job openings are available, so that's good news, right? We're speculating they've extended the development timeframe for Crysis 4, putting the game's release date somewhere between 2023 and 2024. However, for the time being, these launch schedules are just that, hypothetical. New York City is expected to return as a playable area in Crysis 4. New places, such as San Francisco or Chicago, could also be explored. After 45 years of infection, how would the virus affect these areas? Now that'll be something we'd be interested to know. However, for the time being, there is little information on the gameplay or the story/setting. Fortunately, this shows that Crytek is serious about the development process. We're nearly certain to see a fantastic game in which Prophet or Alcatraz make a comeback as playable characters. We all want to participate in missions that take us to Alcatraz in Chicago or New York City. Seeing these super troops participate in battle royales, on the other hand, would be the ultimate Crysis improvement, as that's what the generation demands right now. The teaser includes shots and moments which are presented in a montage fashion, where each moment is shown for a split second. Judging from the montage, we have detected that the formation of the sun is shown, so we are speculating that this game will probably show how the solar system came into being, so naturally, it will show the history of the Scythe and how they came into the world. But all these are speculations from our end, as there is very little information given by Crytek. In a few months' time, we are sure we will receive more info on the game. With each iteration of the Crysis series, Crytek has published a demo. When Crysis 4 releases, we expect demos to be available for the Xbox Series X and PC. I mean, this would allow us to test the game without spending money, which is much better than pre-ordering a game and hoping for the best. The official system requirements for Crysis 4 have yet to be disclosed by Crytek, and we are pretty sure we will know about it soon. So, that's it for today, people. Let us know in the comments what other games you're looking forward to playing that haven't yet been released. See you in the next one.